I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Take a look in the mirror. What do you see? Do you see it clearer, or are you deceived in what you believe? 'Cause I'm only human after all, and you're only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Some people got the real problems. Some people out of love. Some people think I can solve them. But Lord heavens above, I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Don't ask my opinion, don't ask me to lie, and beg for forgiveness for making you cry. For making you cry. 'Cause I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Oh, some people got the real problem.
All right, so time check, some 24 minutes to hit 8 o'clock. That's what time it is from the studios of Love 99.5. If you are a guardian, if you're a parent, please listen attentively to this morning's conversation. Now, if you know of any parent or any guardian out there who himself or herself has decided to listen to a different station, listening to a different program, or maybe has just decided to watch a movie or to listen to music, call that person, alert that person, and tell that person to tune into Love 99.5, and of course, stay on for the Super Morning Show as well. I'm asking you to do this for one simple reason, and if you realize, I mentioned as a parent and a guardian, because we want to talk about children, teenagers, adolescents, who unfortunately are taking their lives. Yeah, you heard right. They are taking their lives. Now, the argument will be that as an adult, you wake up every day, you go out there, you hustle, you put food on the table, and you try to, fend for these young ones. So to you, they don't have any issues or any stress. Picture this. You have a 14-year-old daughter or a 15-year-old daughter who unfortunately gets pregnant. Can that daughter walk up to you and tell you, Mommy or Daddy, unfortunately I've gotten pregnant? Can that child come to you and say to you that, Daddy or Mommy, I am pregnant? Oftentimes they will not come to tell you the daddy about it. Oftentimes they will not come to tell you the mommy about it because of how you react to the fact that they are pregnant. So what they often do is they rather will talk to friends, peers. And you and I know that peers will not give them the right advice, would they? They will not. Oftentimes they don't. So when a child is going through such a stress, such emotions, doesn't have anybody to really give her comfort and give her assurance that listen, it is well, one of the things that they consider doing is to take their lives. Can you imagine your child, your 14-year-old or 15-year-old, who for one reason or the other has misplaced the school fees, or let's say have even squandered the school fees? Can a child come to you and say to you, Daddy or Mommy, I know times are hard, but unfortunately I have misplaced my school fees or I have squandered my school fees? In many homes, the child cannot do this. Now, so that is why I began by asking whether as a guardian or as a parent you have a teenager or you have teenagers with you. How well do you know them and how well do you relate with them? Are they happy? Do you know whether they are really happy? Do you know whether they are really stress-free, whether they are content and satisfied? Can they open up and talk to you about anything that is happening in their lives? Listen, some health facilities in Ghana are recording increasing numbers of attempted suicide cases, especially among children and teenagers. Now, in the last 5 years, unfortunately, the trend has gone unchecked. Sadly, these children die each day through suicide. A few of these things are reported to the police, and a few of them end up at the hospital. Again, as a country, you and I will always battle this conversation. We don't have enough data to back some of these things. I want you to take a listen to excerpts of a documentary put together by Mr. Ohiming Tewia. Sometimes we call him, he's with our news desk. We say he's our security desk. He's with our health desk. He's one person in many colors. And he's put together this beautiful documentary, Whispers in the Dark. You'll be hearing the full documentary of the Super Morning Show in a bit. But for now, here are excerpts.
to no be a granana, or just a rebel, my habit. I'm not bad, and I'm not material between me, dear, that's not to say, and I dare say.
Ankasa. That me the D, me was say me the D. And I don't have.
What beats my mind is how this little child thought that the only solution was suicide and knew how to do it. As this is 7-year-old.
It's looking like we are getting 2 or 3 cases every month. Sometimes we get up to 4 or 5 cases in a month. And that is quite serious.
So if you hear the noises in the background, they are classmates of this young boy who took his life. Unfortunately, when he was taken to the cemeteries for burial, schoolmates were asked to join the party or the convoy or people who went to the cemetery to bid farewell to these young ones. Listen, if you're a guardian or you're a parent and you have a teenager, you have, an adolescent under your care, this is your conversation. Ohemi, good morning to you and thanks very much for your time.
Good morning, David.
And how are you doing?
By God's grace, I'm doing well.
So when I heard about this new documentary you've put together, this Whispers in the Dark, I asked myself, what would make Ohemi embark on such a journey to put together a documentary like this?
Yes, David, as journalists, our work is to uncover, reveal, and also educate the public. So if we have paid attention to suicide, even in our cultural setting, suicide is a taboo, it's a no-go area. You don't hear people discuss suicide, even if you may have suicidal thoughts, you may have that suicidal tendency. You are barred from telling people what you feel. And I also did observe that in my work as a journalist, I have never ever heard journalists or the media, talk about suicide. It's being the firefighting approach as and when they do happen. You see reporters or the media going there to report. So I observed that there's a particular trend. It's becoming somehow common in our society. But unfortunately, we don't have that voice to talk about it. There's nobody to amplify the feelings and the trauma, the stress that these cases go through. So generally, we are talking about suicide in general.
Yeah.
But the documentary focuses on child and adolescent suicide.
We'll talk some more. And I just Googled it up because I remember somewhere this year, Ghana was able to decriminalize suicide. And it says that Ghana recently amended the Criminal Offences Act of 1960, which previously made attempted suicide a criminal offence in the country. Now, the new amendment, now states that attempted suicide will be considered a mental health issue requiring assistance by law instead of crime. And I just Googled this up and got this
when we are talking about a law that came into effect in 1960.
60, yeah.
So we have lived with this law for over how many years? It's just recently. Some few months ago.
This happened in June 23rd. Let me check.
So,
the 23rd June, yeah.
Yes, some few months ago, when Ghanaians have suffered under this law, it became more or less like an albatross. And people were being prosecuted, were being chastised because of this law. And so as a country, if you look at how our laws are structured, it means we haven't paid attention to the poor among us. I'm talking about children. They are the vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so if a child, for instance, attempts suicide, now what does the law say? Before June 2023, it means that you are treated as a criminal.
Yeah.
And you have to be arrested, investigated, and then
Prosecuted,
in some
actually.
instances, prosecuted.
And then jailed.
And jailed. So how would somebody be, jailed or prosecuted for a health condition? For instance, if I'm suffering from malaria, I don't get prosecuted. If I'm suffering from anemia, no police will be involved. But how come the moment somebody made an attempt on his life, or her life, then he becomes a subject of prosecution. And so it means that we haven't paid attention to our own.
So let's talk about where this documentary took you to, because, in that documentary, the excerpts that I just shared, there was this woman, and her story caught my attention last week.
Yes.
Where she said she sells at the same place where the child hanged himself.
Yes.
So where did this documentary take you? Which places did it take you to?
So
what can you share with us?
This is a story from a 40-year-old woman at Asimfosu, Abesanwa, in the central region. So those of you who travel between Kumasi and Cape Coast, before you get to Asimfosu proper, the Abesanwa is a suburb of Asimfosu. She's a woman who has a 14-year-old boy, a JHS2. By now, he should have
writing a BEC. Have written,
completed,
actually.
yes, a JHS now. So he sells. He does that menial, trading activity with the boy. So the boy has become almost like the business partner, and he supports the woman throughout her life. And this is a boy who comes from a broken home because the father divorced the wife, the mother. So it's a boy who has been supporting the mother, and then the 3 other siblings. And so the woman, as I called her, Awo.
Forgive me. So the 14-year-old is the oldest amongst the siblings. Okay.
He's the oldest.
Okay.
And so he takes care of the family.
Okay. So now tell us about Awo.
So Awo now has been left and now living in the trauma, of this story. She was awakened in her sleep by a neighbor who informed her of how he found the 14-year-old boy hanged on the cocoa tree.
Cocoa?
Yes. The cocoa tree is virtually, let me say, very close to the spot where Awo sells. So less than, it's like some few meters, it's not even a meter.
Few steps.
Few steps away from the spot the mother sells. So now the boy has been buried, but the trauma is still around.
Do we know why this young boy, how old is he again? 14?
14.
Do we know why he took his life?
It is a bit difficult because police have the investigative, responsibilities, and as at now, they are not done with investigation. So we cannot pinpoint why he did what he did. But that is the case of almost all suicide cases in Ghana. It's other investigations are underway, it's not completed and all that. So we are unable to understand what probably forced people to take their own lives.
And unfortunately, the mother didn't pick up any signs whatsoever about what maybe, for example, the child's behavior had changed. Because when I was listening to portions of the documentary, and of course the news at 6 this morning, I gathered that this 14-year-old is very, very respectful, very, very helpful. And unfortunately, on that very particular day when he was asked to go and sleep, that was the very first time he refused to listen to the mother. Now, I recall not too long ago, is it about a month and a half ago, when, a KNU student, medical student, also attempted to take his life. And he is a son of a very renowned broadcaster who is a very good friend of mine. Now, so you ask yourself, so this is somebody whose father is a broadcaster, renowned. The father I spoke to says, listen, we provide everything for him. We give everything he needs to him. And so the father was like, I never thought he could have such tendencies, such thoughts, to even want to carry it out to commit the suicide. Now, my question on this is this. Have you engaged with the mother? Did she say to you that, well, I picked some signs that, well, he had changed in his behavior, he's changed in the mood. I tried to find out from him why he was in that mood. Has the mother told you anything?
Yes, David, when I engaged Awo, she told me the boy is very obedient. But on that particular night, it was the first time the boy appeared to have flouted the mother's words when the mother invited him to close the door and come to bed. Anytime she calls him, Kofi, where are you? Then the boy will respond in Twi, Ma wo me waha. Kofi, come to bed. Ma wo me ba. So she even sent the younger brother to go check on him, what was happening in the veranda. But the boy went, and the message she came back to report to the mother is that She's not doing anything. She's just sitting there. So what it means is that this boy was going through a lot. And that is the experience that I have had. That do you know that children also have these complex feelings? They have feelings that the same way as adults also do, but they don't have that vocabulary, the words to express those feelings.
And of course, even the space, because some guardians, some parents don't even encourage them to be open, sincere, and frank about what they're going through.
So, David,
they bottle things inside.
So if adults are frustrated, children are also frustrated. They are jealous. They feel depressed. They also feel neglected and all that. So all these feelings are what can trigger, a child to also make attempt on his life. So these feelings or depression these underlying health conditions are triggered by what I call social events. The social events could be from a broken home, could be from media exposure. I'll tell you the story of a 9-year-old boy.
Before you tell me that story, please indulge me. Unfortunately, our phone lines are down. They're down as we speak. Our phone lines are not working. So the only means by which we can communicate with each other on the show today is for you to send in WhatsApp messages. So either you type a message and send it in, or you record a voice note and send it in. Our WhatsApp number is 055-11-11-995. All right? Our WhatsApp number again is 055-11-11-995. And it's all because, our phone lines are down today, so we cannot communicate on the phone lines. So send us a WhatsApp message, be it a written message, or send us a recorded voice note and let's share. Have you ever had suicidal tendencies or thoughts yourself? What saved you? I interviewed some lady ago, some 5 or so years ago, who had attempted suicide not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. She's always been lucky. There were occasions she would slit her wrist. There were occasions she would take overdose of alcohol and many other substances. I'm not saying this for anybody to use them or say, okay, so I have an idea as to what to use. No. If you have a problem, speak to somebody you can trust. It could be a counselor, it could be your parent, it could be a guardian. Speak to somebody. We'll not rush this conversation. We'll take our time and run this conversation beautifully and smoothly and very well so it sinks in. So don't be surprised if you hear from psychiatrists, you hear from psychologists, you'll be hearing from Professor Osei Sampini, I'm told, has a very big interest in this whole conversation as well. So we'll be doing this in series just for us all to benefit immensely from it. Save lives. That's what the agenda is. So, Ohime, you're saying that they also go through the same emotions and all that. This question is not for you, so let me just shelve this question. But so when you got to the family, how did they take this suicide done by this 14-year-old? Especially, I asked that question earlier as to whether he's the oldest. He's 14. How are the younger ones taking it? Do they even understand and appreciate, what has happened?
For the family, it's a big blow for them, because the mother would wish maybe she doesn't go to the same spot she lost her son to trade, but now she's being forced to do so because there's no any other opportunity for her. So anytime she gets to that place, she's reminded by the son's death.
Can she relocate?
And she tells me every now and then, though the cocoa tree has been cut, but it remains a stump. So she always go to this stump, stand there in anticipation of seeing her son again. But that is just a figment of her own imaginations. It won't happen.
I'm sure she'll be there. She'll mention the son's name and say, why? Let's say Kofi.
Yes,
Kofi, why? Kofi Adeng.
Yes, he's Kofi.
Oh, the boss Kofi.
Yes, he's Kofi.
So she'll go to that place and ask, Kofi Adeng, now you say. And if you join us on Facebook, we'll show you experts of this beautiful documentary, Whispers in the Dark, put together by Ohime Interior. He's assistant news editor with the Multimedia Group. So join us on Facebook and see it for yourself. Now, the mother says she goes to bed. She can't sleep. All she does is to sit on the bed till morning. There's another man who said that he even ate without knowing that he had eaten.
Yeah.
Who's that man?
Yeah, that is the father of a 12-year-old girl this story happened at Agona Duo too.
So it's a different story of suicide in that.
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
So we are looking at all angles. So some take their lives because they live with their parents. Others do that they come from broken homes, and there are others who are also from rich homes, and then there are others who are what somebody would say these are strugglers. They struggle on the streets almost every now and then. But I'll tell you that, David, if you look at the data that I have gathered, majority of the children who attempt to take their lives, majority of them live with their parents. You say these are kids who are provided for by their parents in terms of clothing, food, bedding, and everything. And so I recall in one instance, the police officer I interviewed was like, why are you this child? You live in a story building, you are being catered for, you are sent to school in a car, you are being pampered. So, how? Why would you decide to take your life? So we have forgotten that children also have feelings. And there are social, events that trigger some of these underlying health conditions. So I mentioned peer pressure, I mentioned broken homes, and I also mentioned media exposure. There are a lot of them. But we tend to forget about the kids when it comes to issues that affect lives. We always talk about adults neglecting what our children also go through.
When you walked into the studios, one of the first things you did was to hand me over your phone, and there was a message on your phone.
Yes, David.
What does the message say?
Yes, this is somebody who shared the flyer on his Facebook status. So after sharing that message, a colleague, sent me a message that, it has happened to it happened in my area just yesterday.
A neighbor.
A neighbor. Just yesterday, a young man who lives nearby, a child in that regard, has also terminated his life.
So
it is happening.
A flyer that we made available yesterday, and the child took the life the day before, so Saturday.
No, the flyer just this morning.
He saw the flyer this morning.
Yes,
and so the child took the life yesterday.
Yesterday.
And unfortunately, Ohiming, one other leg of the conversation is that we don't have accurate data of children who are taking their lives. We are even told that these things don't get reported to the hospital and even to the police station. How so?
It is so because, one, I believe we don't see this as an important issue. So every conversation that matters is centered on the adult. So in Ghana, especially on suicide, we don't have data. All the data you see around is what perhaps you get from Ghana Health Service, and it's not also reliable because only few of them that are reported at the facilities is what the Ghana Health Service, do capture. And so, for instance, if somebody attempts suicide, attempts to take his life at home, and there's somehow the attempted suicide is able to
succeed.
Go through. It will not go to the hospital. It will not end up at the hospital. In some of our cultural settings, somebody who died through suicide is considered a taboo, and there are some cultural practices
or rituals
that go a long way to conceal these informations. So it means that if I die in, say, let me mention, let's say a tribe like Gonja, if I die by suicide in Gonja land and I die in the bush, my body will not be brought home
to the town.
No, it will be buried in the bush, and the family members and relatives will be banned from mourning the death of such person. And so you are banned from even discussing and talking about it in the community. So you are treated as an outcast. So if, for instance, I attempt suicide and I'm not successful and have the opportunity to leave, before June 2023, our law says that you have to be prosecuted. So what it means is that if you attempt suicide, we are telling you, go ahead and be successful. Because if you don't succeed, you come back and then face punitive measures.
To be prisoned.
So we are encouraging you to die.
To be successful at killing yourself.
Of course. And that is how we have treated ourselves.
It comes back to what I was saying earlier in my introduction. How well do you know your children? How well have you made it possible for children to speak to you about what they are going through? Listen, maybe you are married. So maybe you can speak to your spouse about things. Maybe you're an adult, so you can speak to, a doctor or a counselor or a pastor about things. A child of 12, 13, 14, 15, who can the child speak to?
David, we have...
I know, 7.
7.
A 7-year-old child, I read
Yes.
about it. A 7-year-old child has also taken their life. And that is why Dr. Ruth Amchi would say, she doesn't understand what goes on in their mind. Now would want them to attempt it, know what even to use.
The method,
what to use, and be successful at it. We'll be having, the psychiatrists and the psychologists and all of them, pathologists and all talk to us about this. But, tell me this. When you met this woman, has she gotten psychological help?
Not at all.
So she'll still go through this for how long?
Oh, and what I say, to put salt into injury, she was also threatened by a police officer who threatened to arrest her for allowing her child to die through suicide.
No, say it again. The police officer says what?
She threatened to put her behind bars for allowing the child to die through suicide, to take his own life. Can you imagine? And she's still living with that trauma.
Listen, we need to get this woman help.
She's traumatized, and as of now, she hasn't had any psychotherapy support or whatsoever. She has been left to go through all these things by herself, and that is what families who lose their relatives through suicide do. It's a common phenomenon. They are left to, mourn the dead alone. They face all these consequences alone.
Well, this is Love in the Morning. It's on Love 99.5. Time checks a minute past 8 o'clock. Our conversation has to do with the very latest Hotline documentary put together by an assistant editor of the multimedia group, Ohime Interior. He wears many caps. So at one point in time, you hear us introduce him as a head of a health desk or security desk or stuff like that. He's right here with us in the studios of Love 99.5. We're talking about Whispers in the Dark. It's a documentary that projects adolescents, teenagers who are taking their lives. And it's become so common these days, it's become a source of concern and worry. So yesterday, for example, he said we do artworks and flyers and we share them just to inform people about what conversation we'll be having the day after or the coming days. So yesterday with this flyer, he shared this flyer, and then somebody sends him, a message and says, it happened in my area yesterday. So yesterday, the 13th of August, yesterday, another teenager took his life. Why? We don't know. Why? Because we have never given it enough attention. The attention it requires or deserves. As we speak, this is hardly gets to the police. Hardly ends up at the hospitals. Unfortunately, we don't even have an accurate, proper data that will help us put the right policies in place to ensure that the right things are done. Unfortunately, as we even speak right now, Awo has not received any psychological help. And rather, a police officer says he's threatening her that he'll put her behind bars because she didn't do a good job in raising Kofi, and Kofi is no more. Leo, please.
Yeah, Ohime was talking about the fact that we lack a lot of information on why people do all these things. But my question is, even for those who even speak out, for example, I know people who are suffering from bipolar and then schizophrenia and all these things. They have illusions and dreams.
They hear voices. Go take your life and all.
Yeah, if you tell somebody, the next minute you branding you as you are mad, or you take you to the psychiatric and you are a witch and all these things. So even that.
That is why I haven't gone in that tangent. I'm leaving that for Dr. Amchi and co.
Yes.
Because it is technical and they would explain those bits to us.
Baba David, sometimes it's not a bit technical. In our society, I visited this prayer camps as well. So I was at a prayer camp. A prophet of God claimed he has that superpower. In the company of Angel Gabriel.
Not Michael.
He's able.
Not Angel David.
No, he's able to heal people with suicidal thoughts. So if you have a suicide tendency and you go there, he's able to heal you.
Well, like I said, the doctors would explain whether that is really scientifically possible. that somebody who has schizophrenia or somebody.
And that is not possible.
It is not. That's what I'm saying. It's technical.
It is not possible.
And unfortunately, because human as we are, Ghanaians as we are, we don't know some of these things. We're vulnerable.
So
we're vulnerable.
You live in the house, you see your child in that moody,
state.
You don't do anything about it. You allow the child, give him space.
Oh, but you haven't even gone too far. You've been kind with the words. Your child thinks that, okay, I'm going through A, B, and C. So comes to you, Daddy, you're hemming. Oh, Java, am I busy? Oh, Daddy, me news. I'm a victim. My kids, those times will come to me and I'll say, I'm listening to the news. Then 5:30 top story, then news night, then television news. So it's crazy.
So that is the moment the child would have loved to share that important information with you.
But you threw the child off. You threw the child away. What do you hope to achieve with this documentary? I'll take that answer shortly. But listen, for the laundry drop-off, for the grocery pickup, even for the lunch sit-down or the tank fill-up, when asked cash or card, it's always card for me. That's my preference. And I switched from cash to card and have no regrets whatsoever. You can do the same. For all your payments, use MasterCard. And you'll be glad you did use MasterCard. Now, KFC dropped the price, so you don't have to drop your favorite meal. Enjoy the delicious Streetwise 2 for only 39 Ghana cedis at your nearest KFC restaurant. I did that yesterday, the day before yesterday, and it's beautiful. I enjoyed myself. Limited time, unlimited goodness. KFC is finger licking good. Now, do you have cash reserves or investments and require security of your investments? Then CBG custody account is your best bet. With a minimum of 10,000 Ghana cedis in cash or investment, individuals, pension funds, mutual funds, companies with reserve funds, NGOs, international funds, and investment firms can open a custody account with CBG. Enjoy the best of experience with their state-of-the-art technology and digital offerings, robust control and secured systems, swift settlement and transaction processing protocols, no transaction costs, unbeatable custody fees, and excellent customer services. Visit any of the CBG's 114 branches nationwide to open your custody account. Now, for further enquiries, you can call 0302 216 000. Send a mail to talk to us at cbg.com.gh. Talk to us, one word. Talk to us at cbg.com.gh. Or you can visit any of our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Terms and conditions apply. CBG, listen, we always stand with you. Do you love eggs? I love eggs. Enjoy eggs. They are healthy. They don't just taste nice, they are healthy. Now, how often do you eat eggs? That's the question. Now, did you know that eggs are a nutrient-rich food? You can get up to 6 grams of high-quality protein and healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. Extra nutrition for all. Remember to eat an egg today and follow the campaign on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Extra O. So our conversation this morning is with our assistant editor with the Multimedia Group, Ohemi Interior. His latest documentary is Whispers in the Dark. It portrays and unveils children, teenagers who have attempted suicide and have been successful in some instances. The youngest we know of so far who took his life was a 7-year-old, just 7-year-old. What will go on in the mind of a 7-year-old for him to decide to take his life? We also know of a 14-year-old, Kofi, who unfortunately has also died as a result of hanging. He hanged himself on a cocoa tree near to where the mother died straight. The mother says anytime she goes to the spot to sell, she sees the tree has been cut off though, but she sees the spot and the thoughts of Kofi comes to her mind. She says she goes back home and unfortunately cannot sleep. She sits on her bed throughout without sleeping. There's a man in this documentary who says, well, for him, he ate without even knowing that he ate. All because his child also committed suicide. The child was 12 years old. Committed suicide. Suicide is so close to us, not just for adults, but for children. And that's why I keep asking, as a parent, as a guardian, have you given that enabling environment where your children can tell you about anything at all? So unfortunately, your 14-year-old daughter gets pregnant. So what? You don't listen to your 14-year-old daughter, or she has fears to talk to you, and so therefore she will commit suicide because she doesn't know what the father will do to her or the mother will do to her if he gets to know that she at 14 is pregnant. Which would you prefer? That she takes her life to talk to you, confide in you, and say, listen, let's go through this together. What about the young boy? Like Eugene did when he was 12 years. Or did the school fees? Eugene did school fees. And Eugene is here working with us at Multimedia. So if your child fails an exam, they just wrote the BECE, they completed on Friday. So the child writes the exams and unfortunately maybe doesn't pass. Is that the end of the world? Should you insult the child and cast whatever on the child? Insulting the child and abusing the child for the child to say, okay, I'm going to take my life? Let's protect these children. Let's protect these children. Let's hear them out. Unfortunately, like I said, we cannot, have you share your thoughts with us on our phone lines because the phone lines are down. But at least you can do so on Facebook on LUV 99.5 FM on Facebook. You can do same using our WhatsApp number 055-1111-995. But the full documentary will air shortly on the Super Morning Show. Ohimi, what do you hope to achieve with this whole thing?
David, I want to shed light on a problem that exists in our society, but we tend to behave as if it doesn't. And then the policy makers make attempt to enact policies that would take into consideration the need of all these children who are dying. Yes, they are human beings. And if adults, we have policies that center on adults, we should also have something that will protect our kids from these thoughts and also help them out. Now, for instance, can we also include people who seek psychological support at the facilities in National Health Insurance? So people can walk boldly to our health facilities and say, I'm going through this. Can I have this support? So we open up the discussion on the issue and then support those who are in need. And throughout the documentary, like I said, I had the opportunity to meet 32 families in Ashanti, Eastern, Central, Western North. I was in Bono region, as well as the Savannah regions. There are people who actually need help. Awo, for instance,
she does need help. Can
somebody, or can she get that support so she can relocate, for instance, from where she
sells or treats?
Yes. And then there's also a university student I featured in the documentary. He always have this suicidal thought because his neighbors stigmatize him. They compare him to a gentleman who cannot walk. And he feels that he's not being treated fairly.
So, things that people would think about
on KNUST campus here, he has tried several times, attempting to take his own life. What can we do? Such persons can be relocated from where they live, their immediate vicinity environment, so they can have that new life.
I see in the video, the documentary, that colleagues, fellow students of Kofi, classmates, went to the cemetery. Good thing, bad thing?
David, it depends on how you see it. In our cultural setup, children are not allowed to participate in burial parties like this. They don't go to the cemetery. But when it becomes so obvious that the classmates or the schoolmates were not given the opportunity to say goodbye to their friend, they had to be escorted to the cemetery. And that is why you see them crying all over.
Listen, at this point in time, let's go onto our WhatsApp console and read messages and share voice messages that have come through with you. Apologies to you all one more time. Those of you who wanted to call us on the phone lines like you normally do, our phone lines are down. Our phone lines have not taken their lives, no. They are a bit down. They're sick, so we'll fix it and then we'll take your calls maybe from tomorrow and all that. But for now, messages, Leo.
Good morning, David and your crew, and good morning to Ohime. Another great job by Ohime. Ohime, may God bless you and keep the good job up. I know one day you'll be elevated above where you are now. David, not having data is because of us as a nation, another manifestation of not paying attention on children issue. That is why we don't have data on this. There are so many things concerning children and how to make sure they have the best of all and correction. But we are not paying attention and we are not investing in children issue. That is why all these things are going on and we don't have data. David, these are issues some of us are victim to it. I remember growing up somewhere, I think my age is about between 8 and 10. I had that challenge and I was contemplating killing myself. Fortunately for me, I couldn't do that one because I was thinking of the kind of medicine to take. And later I was thinking that should I take kerosene or whatever. Then suddenly, not knowing, my dad was also monitoring my mood. So he asked me one day what the problem was. I didn't tell him. Then one of his best friend, who was someone I also talked to a lot, and the two of us actually have a lot of discussion together. He reported to that's his friend, and one day the two of them was working with me, and he prompted his friend, and his friend have me alone with him, and that was when I was able to open up, and from that day the issues was managed, and that is why I couldn't end up doing what I was thinking of doing. And children have problems, and I have taken a good lesson out of that. That is why most of the time I engage kids who have a bad mood, and even my own, and it's very important issue. This is Godwin. Good morning.
Godwin, thanks very much for sharing that voice message with us. And you know what? Don't sit down as a parent and think that, oh, all is well with your child. Don't say that. Oh, no, be that. Don't think like that. Haven't heard this documentary, and like I said, the full documentary will be airing shortly. Call your children. Ask them if all is well with them. Ask them if there's something they want you to do for them. Let them know that you are there for them no matter what. That is one step in saving their lives. So we'll continue maybe tomorrow or tomorrow next as we have the experts themselves join us. Because I sit back and ask myself, Charlie, the pain you would even have to go through if you want to take your life, the substance that you're going to take, whatever object you're going to use to, the pain. Take a listen to this other voice message, please.
Hey, we call university. I want to say our counseling and all these psychological, I think the services be what we have a department for all that. Maybe our issues, you need counseling, you need advice on. You need to do same kind of call those kind of facilities. One I just add no. Call crowd ferry because you who class or work or counseling, you work around boys best row. The whole it is a society of Ubiqua who's a walker. Oh, be uncle near Namho, and a lot of us here with mental issues. We have even year periods here number we need counseling, we need this kind of service, we need to talk to people, professionals, to advise us, to guide us. Ghana had be agro.
What a country, huh? He even ended. Ghana had be agro. What a way to land or to end. And it's very true.
We play a lot.
It's very true. So if it were in a very good jurisdiction by now, Awo would have been receiving some help. Her children, the three who are left behind, will be receiving some help. So this same children would ask where their other brother is.
Education and sensitization in the school.
They go to the school, and then people might be pointing fingers at them. What trauma, what psychological impact is going to have on their minds?
The police officer is even threatening the woman on top.
God, I thank God for holding my mouth. What nearly came out of my mouth wasn't going to be good. Please listen to another voice message.
Good morning, Mr. David. I hope the morning is fine. The truth of the fact is that our country is not paying any attention to the growing children and the future leaders of this country. They have ignored us to some extent that you have to tax sanitary pads. Sanitary pads contributes to the well and the psychological well-being of a girl child in Ghana. But what is happening? A pad costs about 2017 Ghana cedis. Can you imagine a person who is living in a rural area? How are they going to afford for the child to buy pad in every month? And the worst of it all is that when children demand for something from their parents and they are not able to get them, they resort to any other options to fill that gap. And at the end of the day, they find themselves in a trouble, which can lead them to commit suicide. And for boys, this kind of gaming things, advertising everywhere, and in general, as at now we speak, every media in Ghana is talking about lotto and whatever. These are some of the causes that made children to squander their monies, school fees, and at the end of the day, they go through psychological trauma, and at the end of the day, they will find themselves at a hanging tree somewhere.
And Leo told us a story a while ago about a very popular musician's son.
Yeah.
Who at the age of, he was in JSS1. Let me just say JSS1. He got missing. They didn't know where he was. For years they thought he had died. Then later, several years later, he resurfaced. Apparently he went to Nigeria and became a trotro driver in Nigeria. You know what happened? In Form 1, JSS1, he lost his school fees. Could not go home to tell mommy or daddy that school fees not get out. He didn't contemplate suicide.
So he joined some people his life. In a car.
All he decided to do was leave Ghana, go to Nigeria.
Relocate.
Yeah.
But if we have created an environment where the children can talk to us, that mommy, I have done this, daddy, I have done that, and daddy and mommy can say, well, it is a bad thing you did, but we will survive this together. They don't be taking their lives. Take a listen to this one.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ya Boaite Brefo, an emotional resilience and family service counselor at Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was taking my kids to school this morning, and one of the leaders prompted me to listen to your channel, or your station, sorry. And unfortunately, I'm even still having chills to hear that a teenager or a kid trying to kill.
I don't know what happened. We're using equipment here, machines, anything is possible at any time. So unfortunately, we lost the message. But we can at least play one or two more for you, and then we'll wrap up. But we'll continue tomorrow. There's some disturbing statistics that Ohimiteria has. You want to hear about that statistic? It's crazy. It's about something that happened in Uganda and even here in Ghana. You want to hear it? Listen. Take a listen to this voice note. I'll tell you about it.
Good morning. I would like to share into this morning's discussion. I have to admit, I attempted suicide twice when I was a child. That's not a so proud moment of my life, but with looking back, I'm asking myself, why did I even contemplated that? And I believe it had to do with the fact that most of the time, I'm now a parent, as parents, we believe that providing the basic necessities for our children is enough. Kids have needs beyond those. We want that sense of belongingness. We want that sense of love and all that. My father was a police officer. He provided the needs and all that. But, policemen those times, I don't know about today, they were these disciplinarians. So they would rather discipline you and beat you to pop, and after that he will always make comments like, ooh, crank kamepe. I like those kind of stuff, like they make you feel like your existence is a constant torment to them. You understand? I felt so alone and all that. Twice I attempted suicide. Twice I was caught by my younger siblings. And I don't know, but sometimes it's not enough to provide. They need you. They need. I can bring home my reports and get like 3 A's, 4 A's, 3 B's, and 1 C, and this man will just concentrate on my C.
Bro, I know you're still doing the listening. What we've done is I've taken your number. I'm going to call you. I want to engage with you if need be tomorrow, because I want to know whether there were people available you could have spoken to, confided in, what advice you'd give to parents right now about some of the utterances they make. So they'll compare you to Ena Kwesinya first, Ena OD second, and OD seventh. Now Kofi ni kwesi omo yepe. So why don't you help Kofi if Kofi is not doing well in school? Rather than do that comparative analysis. And I keep emphasizing, why don't we avail ourselves and make the environment enabling enough for the children to speak to us?
David, just 30 seconds. When you go to the universities, most of the people commit suicide in some of these commentaries. You know, the dynamics are different. And David, I've always, if you remember, I've always said this, that we should stop comparing academic grades of one student to the other. If you've ever worked with WAEC, I've done script checking for 3 years with WAEC, you notice that there are a lot of things that goes into it. I've seen people being given 17 when it's 77. The papers are marked by humans, right? The humans have emotions, they have their off days. So what he said is very, very true. And sometimes as parents, I've been through it before. You know, you put in, because you know you've put in your effort, but the paper will come some way, somehow.
When they descend on you like you have committed some blunder.
David,
there are some people like that, don't see idea.
Yes, but they are a minority.
Like who you, eh? Say it like who?
Yeah,
like
I mean, no, not necessarily me, but me, I will not let some of these things, bother me like that. But that's me.
What is your preferred color of tank? Well, listen, Syntex has it. What guarantee do you want? Again, Syntex has it. What kind of inner layer do you want? We're talking about double, triple, quadruple. Well, as many inner layers as you want, Syntex has it too. So remember, no matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex, strong, tough. Now, they have over 300 agents nationwide. Now, to order a tank, you can call 0244 335 168. Now, you can also visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana or shop online on www.syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, strong, tough. Now, before we even have the part 2 tomorrow, you're giving some staggering statistics between Ghana and Uganda. Where what?
Yes, David. This is a research conducted by some scholars among psychology students in Ghana, and the psychology students also did hit our communities to find out, and the results did show that if you take all university students in Ghana, what it means is that 47% of them know someone who in the last 12 months, let's say the last 1 year,
have attempted suicide or taking their lives.
And most of the majority of them are children and adolescents.
And the majority of them, the percentage is 47.
Yes, 47.
Wake up to a new taste of Bigo Cola, right? Nothing comes close to Bigo Cola. A drink of joy, both cold and sweet. Bigo Drink is a range of soft drinks developed, bottled, and distributed in Ghana by Trillium Industrial Ghana. Bigo Cola drink offers a great taste and superior value to consumers. Now, for your parties, your weddings, your funerals, and all occasions, reach out for Bigo drinks. Listen, even if you're contemplating suicide, instead of drinking all those chemicals, take a Bigo Cola drink. Okay, it will solve the problem for you. Your thoughts about taking your life will go away. Now, for the school children, I bet you that is the drink of choice. So anytime you want a drink to quench your taste, reach out for Bigo Cola and feel the taste of nature. For bulk purchases, please call 03221 90877. Again, it is 03221 90877. Maybe you want to buy in bulk and sell. They will sell it to you. It's a quality product from Trillium Industrial Industries. Have you been, searching for the best place for your IELTS, your SAT, your GRE tuition to make your study abroad, and of course your job acquisition abroad come true? Well, then look no further, because Zest Consult Abaoba, it is the number one place for you. Zest Consult has taught over 5,000 individuals in their short existence to pass the IELTS, the SAT, and GRE. Over 3,000 nurses, midwives, and other workers have passed through their IELTS through Zest Consult to work in the UK and USA. Now, some have also used the IELTS to also apply for schools outside the country. Now, a number of students have also acquired scholarships through Zest Consult to study abroad for their undergraduate and postgraduate programs through that is Zest Consult. So they've passed the SAT and the GRE tuition. Now, Zest Consult can help you study in the UK, USA, Germany, Australia, China, and other countries, even under scholarship. But that's not all they do. Zest Consult also is also into real estate services, as they assist in the selling or buying of buildings and litigation-free lands. Locate Zest Consult at Kumasi Cultural Center or at Dichemso near the Kumasi Airport roundabout. Call them now on 0555 631 633. 0555 631 633 or 0509 092 330. Zest Consult Excellence is their hallmark. Maybe your child is contemplating suicide because the child wants to go study abroad. You think you don't have the resources to take your child abroad, and so the child is contemplating taking his life. Go to Zest Consult. The charges are very, 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 very simple. Very, very, very cheap charges. Well, in no time, we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 for us to bring to you the full documentary of Whispers in the Dark. But don't forget, tomorrow we'll bring to you other angles from people who have contemplated suicide themselves and whether they had help and how they could not succeed, why they didn't get in touch with people who could help them. You'll be hearing from experts who will tell you what to look out for in your children who may be contemplating taking their lives. All this and more coming up your way tomorrow on Live in the Morning. Please stay tuned and be there for your children. Be there for your children. Be there for your children.
Hey, Linda, long time, oh. Yes, so. Hey, but wait, oh, Linda, did you win the lottery? I mean, look at your room, your TV, your sound system, your fridge. Hey.
Oh, they are nice, all from Kennedy Digital Satellite. They also sell appliances like air conditioners, televisions, tabletop fridges, and freezers from 100 to 900 liters, commercial fufu machines, home theaters, etc.
Wow.
In addition, government workers who receive their salary through the Controller and Accountant General's Department and still have their affordability package active can come to Kennedy Digital Satellite and get any appliance of their choice with flexible payment terms. You can locate Kennedy Digital Satellite in Accra at Wager, just at the old barrier traffic light, and in Kumasi at Edum near Boss FM and along the Patasi Main Street near the police depot. Those in Accra can call 0243 074 750 and in Kumasi reach them on 0207 653031.
Kennedy Digital Satellite, where quality sells cheap.
Welcome to NLA 590 Mobile. Today we will discuss how you can win cash by playing 590 on your phone or online. Visit 590mobile.com.gh or dial *959# on any handset or network and choose option 7 on the menu for Perm 3. Perming allows you to increase your chances of a winning combination. Perm 3 gives you 2,100 times your stake amount when 3 or more numbers from your selection appear in any order. You need to select from 4 or up to a maximum of 10 numbers, all between 1 to 90, to play Perm 3. Thank you for your attention. And remember, you can stake your favorite NLA 590 lottery on your phone or online right now. All wins are paid same day, in full, and direct to your Momo.
Please dial 059-692-1590
for any assistance. 590 Mobile at Downsem.
Amafwe! Yeah! Media sambisanda mwa. Eti emrati no. Mumu hwan pa na tumi hwe na mo bodom pe mo man yakono.
Eye kwabna.
No mumu hwan so na tumi tasmale me mayo ni nyina de.
Eye kojo.
Enu kro. Kobre tumi hwe na bodom pe mo sense o yisu accident eba. Aye den oban ni do braye. Po si eti na mo hoban na sem mana hode ne. Sa! Ani na kudwo nso yisu accident chako. Na enu ne de e ma wo se wo ye krejen fita. Na watimi asiri my mother feel you. Pepsodent Eba and a Pepsodent Charcoal. I've idea. You're gonna natural.
Hey, you ever buy credits where you get up to 20% of your money back before? Make I tell you about Vodafone's demo promo. See, anytime you recharge a demo, you get up to 20%, whether it be short code or your Vodafone cash wallet, or you don't use credit transfer to your number or someone else. And now you be high tech, so you don't use my Vodafone app or any payment app. However you do, Vodafone go send you up to 20% cash back into your Vodafone cash account. We'll reload here, but then you enter. Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
Uyam ayekro anase emu kekao uhia amuzu ke uyam tutu anase emu samfono uhia amuzu ke wayase ya oya anase uwa fichikro mu haw uhia amuzu ke heba mixture ebi wo heba shop bia mu frɛ 0247 776743.
Why risk having your visa denied when you have Excel Plus Education? Do you have an offer to study in the UK, Canada, USA, or Australia this September? Do you require professional guidance on how to submit your visa application? For a free support on all aspects of your visa and student application, get in touch with Excel Plus Education right away. Call or WhatsApp us for no cost at all on 0243 334894 or 0246 725909. Excel Plus Education, putting you in charge.
Makion Restaurant, continental and local dishes. Biryani papa fie, kupedia bonsa. Makion Restaurant, continental and local dishes. Biryani papa fie, kupedia bonsa.
Makion Catering Services yenimu fritete eduane pa ema hode wedidi awie no na wanum so da ho na de kumi kura ne se ebo no da fo Makion Hotel nsubama obibiada ama wonya hoto fully air conditioned free wifi and a conference hall with modern gadgets upewe na upedie Makion Restaurant nsubetwa door to door services hwehwe Makion Services e Kumasi Asukwa anase audio Makion ni na phone so ni frɛ omo awamomatrofo iso 0322 496 249 anase 0244-417-446. Makion Services 7 is what we are. Ubedia Bonsano. Ubedia Bonsano.
I've got Bellpack and I won't let go.
My name is Nanama McBrown. Many people think I get what I want anytime because I am popular. No, that is not true. It is because me and Kasano, I like the best. And when I find it, I stick to it. I have found Bellpack Tea Roll. And I'm stuck with it. It is soft but not weak, strong but not hard. It is just perfect. Bellpack Tea Roll is smooth and gentle on the skin. Same as Bellpack Kitchen Towel. It cleans in one wipe. You can soak, squeeze, and clean again. One Bellpack Kitchen Towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bellpack today and experience the perfect paper tissue. Say pocket tissue, table napkins, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Paper chow. Bellpack is simply the best. Bellpack, just perfect.
To be a Bellpack distributor, call 055-11-44400. Another quality product from Bell Aqua.
Doesn't feel so good like Bellpack.
Hip, hip, hip. Thank you. For my 62nd birthday, my wife and I will be traveling for our second honeymoon to Dubai. I have also decided to pay all my grandchildren's fee for the next academic year. In fact, prepare another cow and let the party continue.
What a party. Isn't Mr. Blagochi a pensioner?
Yes, so where did he get all the money to do all that?
I heard it's because of New Generation Investment Services. They took care of his pension funds. I hear they also started the NGISM fund, which allows them to grow their investment and create wealth. They also have the Ingersoll Mutual Fund, which I intend to sign on so I can sow today and reap tomorrow.
Don't be left out.
Visit us today at the first floor, Kokobo Jubilee House at Doom Kumasi, and the first floor of the first story building behind National Investment Bank, Sunyani, or visit www.ngis-group.com.
New Generation Investment Services, achieving excellent returns on your investment.
Yes, DBS Industries has done it again. We have taken the lead by introducing the newest Colorlink Plus roofing sheets. It comes with 20-year warranty against fading.
Hold on a second. Did you say 20-year warranty against fading?
Yes. In addition, it has self-clean properties, meaning it has the ability to clean dirt that settles on it, making your roof look beautiful at all times.
This DBS offer is super cool.
Get your Colorlink Plus roofing sheet for your roof today. Look out for Colorlink imprint on our sheets. Locate DBS Limited in Kumasi on the Kumasi Accra Road at Adakwajachi opposite Kwamo Guel filling station. Call our hotline on 050-600-4141 or 0543-286-637. Visit our other factories in Accra, Tamale and Takrady. DBS Industries, your roof experts.
Aji, mensaye titiri.
Ending exploration of this pressing issue in contemporary Ghana, the documentary that delves deep into a subject both heart-wrenching and vital. That's Whispers in the Dark, Unraveling Childhood Suicide in Ghana. We've told you already of how between 10 to 20%